Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ash, and it's just about April, which means it's time for the April edition of the year-long jam. Whether you are a returning participant or somebody who's been eyeballing the jam and not sure if you can keep up with the constant focuses and challenges and all of that, this should be one of the most accessible months for everybody. And I'll explain why. Our focuses for this month are sounds. Any kind of sound, really. You can have music, whether it's one new track that you're very proud of having acquired or created, and you've got it in just one particular part of your game, or an entire musical suite that you were able to create or perhaps purchase and place in your game, with all of the tracks neatly lined up with their environments. Perhaps your game doesn't fare well with music, and perhaps you would do better with background ambiance, whether it's a crowd of people chattering amongst themselves, the hustle and bustle of a busy city street, or the scary sounds in a deep, dark dungeon, the rustling of chittery, micey feet, or perhaps a growl in the distance. Perhaps it is the swaying of leaves in the forest, gentle winds rustling through the flora and fauna of the woodland environment that you could add. Or perhaps you would like to add sound effects to your game. When that gun fires, you hear pew. When that NPC walks up to that other NPC and tries to kiss them on the cheek, you hear that smack. When the car go vroom, you hear vroom. When the cow go moo, you hear moo. That was a train wreck of a sequence. Or perhaps you would like to add voices into your game. This would be the month to do it. This would be the time to go pick, select, or create assets that contribute to the overall sound levels in your game in some way. Now, if your game already has sound, that's great, and technically you can mark this challenge off, but it would be fantastic if returning participants would be able to add additional audio life into their project. And it doesn't have to be any one of these in particular. You can choose what kind of sound or music you'd like to place in your game. That's right. Voice acting also checks this challenge. And you can record your own voice. You can acquire voice packs off of itch.io, and this would be a place for me to shamelessly plug my own voice packs. I have 4 or 5 of them, and one of them is completely free, so you can try out all of the sounds in the voice pack and even use it in your project if you wish. There are other VAs on Itch who are selling such voice packs, and it's entirely possible that you could get voice actors, amateur, professional, whatever your means allow you to acquire. And that's it. That is the only challenge for this month, the only focus for this month. There is a limitation, actually, so that technically was a complete lie, but the limitation is no AI. This is already a rule. It's already stated elsewhere in the jam. We don't want synthesis voices from like Speechalo or Talkify or Voice Me or Speechify or Yassify. I don't know what all they're at. Don't use AI voices. Text-to-speech counts as AI voices in most cases. You'll have to dig up your own research on what your tool of choice actually uses. But most of them do use AI. The one exception that I have found is SAM, or Software Automatic Mouth. That you can actually use. That predates AI voices by quite a bit. And the Faith trilogy of games actually uses the output from that software. It's free to use. But it does sound very, very creepy and very surreal, so you decide if it's right for your project. Anyway, it's allowed. And if you find software that's similar to that, you can also use that software. I would love to find out what you are using for your game's project, though. Your project, your game, your game's voices. The voices specifically for Cusco. That's a the Emperor's New Groove joke. Don't worry about it. Look, it's 8 a.m. I woke up at like 5, and I've only had half a cup of coffee, and I've really gotten nothing done today. So I'm just trying to get through this announcement video. I'm just trying to get by. I'm just trying to scooch past. If you are a new participant and you're worried that there's just been too much of a buildup and there's too many things to do before you can submit your game, worry not. There's really not that much. And I have shortened the list. I haven't removed anything, but I have reworded things to make it more accessible. Using more accessible language, that's how we get you. Theme-wise, if you're a new participant, your game can be any genre. It can be any theme. There is no established main basic theme for this jam series. So just have a game and you're in. However, you do have to follow the following 3 challenges. Make sure your entry has at least 2 characters. Make sure that your project's mechanics make sense and they feel consistent. So you've already got the groundwork laid for what kind of game loop your player is going to have. And the genre should kind of be clear. If you're working for something that's an experimental, no genre, that's fine too, really. And if you're trying to merge genres, that's also fine. But make sure that gameplay system is kind of sort of in place or very visible to the player. And then make sure that there is some automation used in your game, whether that's an NPC following their daily routine, or crops growing on their own, or moving platforms in a side scroller or 3D platformer. All of that stuff is fine as long as there's something going on by itself without the player's involvement. That's automation. Okay, and then the following limitation, you have to make sure that your project includes a save system, a password system, or is a small enough experience that it doesn't need either of those things. But if it's going to be a long game, JRPG, CRPG, adventure game, Metroidvania, anything like that, VN, you are definitely going to want a save system. And if you are of the type who really loves Mega Man kind of games, or Mystical Ninja, or anything that uses a password system, use that. I actually would be impressed if somebody utilized a password system. I haven't seen a password system in a long time. That's it. So I hope with this presentation, you feel confident and ready to work on your project and submit it. And if you are a returning participant, we just need sounds. We just need new sounds, new stuff for the old ears on the sides of our heads. Did I already use that joke? It's not even a joke, really. That's the presentation for April. I hope you'll consider joining. And if you do join, I strongly advise you to submit anything you can, even if you're barely scraping by, even if you're not even sure if the game is going to meet the requirements. Submit. That's an order. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, bye for now.